Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Henley High School Baseball. And welcome to the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals live on MyBasin.com. Today, the Hornets at home as they host the defending state champion Pendleton Buckaroos. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining us on a wonderful afternoon here at Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School. The sun is out today. That's quite different than what it has been here in the Klamath Basin. In fact, this game was supposed to be played yesterday at 3 o'clock, but rain has pushed it to a Saturday afternoon matinee right here at Henley High School. This quarterfinal matchup featuring the 24-3 Henley Hornets and the Pendleton Buckaroos, who enter play with a 20-8 overall record. For Henley, a win against Astoria back on Tuesday, clinging on to victory against the Fishermen, a 5-4 final there. Pendleton and the Nixyaawii co-op, they defeated Malala back on Tuesday 7-4 to put themselves right here in this quarterfinal matchup with the chance to play Tillamook coming up next week. The Cheesemakers defeated the Estacada Rangers yesterday, a score of 10-4. That is one of the teams advancing into the 4A semifinals. The other semifinal is set as well. The 2-seed Scappoose Indians taking on the Marist Catholic Spartans, the number 3 seed. That game will be played Tuesday at 5 o'clock. This is the last game in the 4A baseball bracket to be played this weekend in a quarterfinal matchup between Henley and Pendleton. Like I said, Pendleton, the defending state champs, but nobody has made it to as many state championship games as the Henley Hornets. A lot of history for each of these two ball clubs. We'll dive into it, as well as introduce you to the starting lineups in just a bit, presented by Gary Sheen and Country Financial, just about 8 minutes away from first pitch at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals, presented by the Henley Booster Club on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan?
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Josh Eldridge back with you here at Rosser Field on the campus of Henley High School ahead of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals. The Hornets today hosting the 8 seed in the bracket, the Pendleton Buckaroos. They enter play 20-8 overall on the season. Let's take a look at the path that they took to get here to the quarterfinals. Of course, Pendleton, the league champs out of the Greater Oregon League. They finished with a 10-2 league mark. They were tied up with LeGrand as far as that overall league mark. The Tigers also crashed the postseason picture with a 10-2 record, but I believe the way that they would split that up is overall record, and Pendleton with a 20-8 mark against LeGrand with that 15-10 record. The Buckaroos are the Greater Oregon League champions again, and winning their first-round matchup against Malala with a score of 7-4. This is a team that's no stranger to getting kind of a middle seed and making a good run. You don't have to look any further than last season when Pendleton was the 7 seed and won the state championship, defeating Marist in that championship game, a score of 14-3. And the interesting thing about Pendleton's run to the state championship last year, none of the games were particularly close either. Along with that 14-3 championship win against Marist, they defeated Scappoose 10-2. Their closest game was against Junction City, a game in which they won 9-6 in the quarterfinal last year, an 8-3 win in the opening round. So this is a team that they play in a league with not a lot of tough competition. You look at the other teams in the Greater Oregon League, Baker and Powder Valley, number 21. Ontario ranked 30th out of 34A teams. That means that it's hard for Pendleton to get that ranking up once it comes into league season. There's not a lot of opportunity for them to climb the rankings. That's why Pendleton and LeGrand are also so close to each other at 9 and 10. So although they've got 20 wins against 8 losses, they won their league, it's tough to gauge exactly what kind of competition Pendleton has been playing against in recent weeks. They are winners of their last 7 consecutive ball games. Their last loss back against LeGrand on May 1st. They were swept in LeGrand by the Tigers on that day. Before that, you'd have to go all the way back to the end of March to find a loss for Pendleton. So they're beating the teams that are on their schedule, but that hasn't exactly helped their seeding. I think you could make a case that they should be higher than 8, but that's where they are, and they're here taking on number 1 Henley today. Of course, your number 1 seed Skyline Conference champions. They nearly got upset back on Tuesday against Astoria, the Fishermen making a late push, but the Hornets, behind a great save from Ty Teeters on the mound, were able to close out a win and find themselves here in the quarterfinals. We're going to step aside for one more 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups today, presented to you by Gary Sheen and Country Financial. That's coming up as we continue your coverage of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A baseball playoffs on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Looking for insurance from someone who truly understands rural Klamath? Meet Gabby Haskins, a licensed agent for Country Financial, born and raised in Merrill, with deep roots in agriculture and the local way of life. Whether you're protecting your family farm, homes, vehicles, businesses, Gabby's here to help. She offers trusted, personalized insurance for farm, life, home, auto, commercial, and retirement needs at Gary Sheen's Country Financial office in Merrill. Stop by today and see why Merrill residents trust one of their own. Country Financial, here to help you experience more in Merrill.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides, or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Over the last year, you've heard and seen the advertisement for God's Gifts 2, a local photographer who travels to high school sporting events and takes individual and team action photos at a great price. Something you may not know, though, is that the money from God's Gifts Photography supports 6 children in Kenya who Annalisa has met on mission trips. If you'd like to capture your athlete in action and help support these kids, call 541-281-2206. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook.
Josh Eldridge back with you ahead of first pitch here at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A baseball quarterfinals. Corbin Hamilton on the mound today for the Hornets. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups now presented by Gary Sheen and Country Financial. We'll start with our visitors today, the Pendleton Buckaroos. Leading off for them, their center fielder Colin Harrington. Reed Furstenberg is their pitcher. He bats second. Vance Nelson, the right fielder, bats third. Grayson English at first base bats cleanup. Nathan Driscoll at second base batting fifth. Colt McQuinn is their catcher hitting sixth. Batting seventh is Eli Smith in left field. Craig Kroll is the third baseman batting 8th, and Tug McQuinn is the shortstop. He bats 9th today for the Buckaroos. And we are just about ready for first pitch this afternoon from Henley High School. It is fouled straight back. 1 o'clock today. It is 59 degrees here in the Klamath Basin. The next pitch is going to miss outside. The count is 1-1 to Colin Harrington, the starting center fielder batting from the right side today for the Buckaroos, wearing black jerseys, Pendleton written across their chest in green, and they've got gray pants with black pinstripes for the Buckaroos today. And Henley, of course, in their navy blue tops, Henley written across their chest in bold yellow text, or a yellow outline rather, in navy blue text, and white pants today for the Hornets. A 1-2 count to Harrington. Hamilton tries a curveball. That one is going to be fouled straight back once more, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Taking a look at the numbers for Hamilton on the season. Corbin, a 9-2 record, making his 13th start of the year. He has an ERA of 1.25 entering play today. And the first pitch on the way to Harrington is hit hard right field. Smith getting underneath it, and he will make the catch for the first out. 1 gone in the first inning. Reed Furstenberg getting ready to settle in now for the Buckaroos, batting here from the right side. The pitch is called a strike, and Hamilton uses it to get ahead here 0-1. Jacoby Tacchini, the other half of the battery today for Henley, introduced to the rest of the defense here in just a moment. Pitch coming in from Hamilton is going to miss up and away. Count is even to Reed Furstenberg on the season. Furstenberg, a .393 hitter for the Buckaroos, and today's starting pitcher. 1-1 misses upstairs. 2-1 the count to Furstenberg with Nelson on deck. Furstenberg, 15 singles, 8 doubles. Looks like that number leads the team. 21 RBI for him. Fouls one back into the glove of Jacoby Tacchini, and the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buckaroos coached today by Justin Spear in his 3rd season with the program. Hornets, of course, coached by Sean Teeters. The 2-2. Reached for, swung on and missed. Hamilton dials up the off-speed pitch to get Furstenberg swinging and missing, and it brings up Vance Nelson. Quickly 2 gone in the top of the first inning. Starting third base today for the Hornets, Derek Cox. Connor Shively is at shortstop. Carson Sims at second with Ian Meyer at first. In the outfield, Ryan Douglas in left. Alex Smith in right. And returning to the defensive lineup for the first time in some time is Max Price, taking over in center field today for the Hornets as Corbin Hamilton pushes across a fastball for strike 1 against Vance Nelson. He's ready to go with the 0-1 pitch. It's a 2-seam fastball, bounced out to Carson Sims at second. Throw on to first is in time, and the Buckaroos down in order in the first inning. We go to the bottom half next at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals on MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Good Getting set for the bottom of the first inning on 104.3, 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Our coverage of the OSAA quarterfinals today presented to you by the Henley Booster Club. I want to give a big shout to the Henley Booster Club before we get too deep into our broadcast today. When it gets to be this time of year, the OSAA requires that we owe a rights fee to them to broadcast their playoffs, and the Henley Booster Club allows us to keep these games free to you by covering that fee for us. So big shout to the Henley Booster Club. They've done so much to improve not only the grounds here at the baseball field, but I think the most notable improvements this year have been over at the softball complex with their new scoreboard and all those types of things. The Booster Club does so much for the student athletes, but especially here at us at MyBasin.com as well. Want to give a big thanks to the Henley Booster Club. Connor Shively getting ready to lead things off for the Hornets. He's followed in the order by Carson Sims, Jacoby Tacchini, Ian Meyer, Derek Cox, Corbin Hamilton, Alex Smith, Max Price, and Ryan Douglas. They're going up against the right-hander from Pendleton, Reed Furstenberg. The first pitch is fouled straight back, and the count is 0-1. Taking a look at the numbers for Furstenberg this season, he's making his 10th start of the year, his 11th overall appearance. He's pitched 39 and 2/3 innings and has a 7-1 record. Shively fouls one off the opposite way. Count is 0-2. Furstenberg this season has struck out 55 batters against 16 walks, an ERA of 2.12 entering play today, the lowest ERA on the team. He's got the second most innings pitched. Here is the 0-2 pitch to Shively. It's a roller down the first base line. English charging, and he wins the foot race to the bag for the first out in the bottom of the first inning. Brings up Carson Sims for the Henley Hornets with one out, bottom of the first inning. Furstenberg, I think the ace of this Pendleton staff, although Harrington does have more innings pitched than him. The numbers support Furstenberg as that guy that Pendleton wants on the hill in big games like this. Harrington pitched 5 innings in a win back on Tuesday for Pendleton. He's getting the start in center field today. Furstenberg, of course, on the hill. Here's the pitch to Carson Sims. Rips it into left field. That's going to get down in front of Schmidt, and then it bounces past him. Sims turns first, thought about going to second, but he's going to stay at first base for a one-out single, and the Hornets have a base runner in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes Jacoby Tacchini. Lucky there for Pendleton. That ball took an awkward hop on Smith and rolled behind him. Luckily for Pendleton, though, it sort of died as it rolled. The grass still a little bit wet in the outfield has been the report that I've heard today about field conditions. You know, it's been raining these last couple of days in the basin. The infield is in fantastic shape, but the outfield, it's a little soggy in some spots. Jacoby Tacchini swings at the first pitch he sees. Ground ball to short, on to second for 1. Driscoll on to English for 2. And it's a 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning. We go to the top half of inning number 2 scoreless at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals on MyBasin.com.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Nearly ready for the second inning of action today from Henley High School. It is sunny outside, 59 degrees, partly cloudy, but beautiful blue skies are tucked behind those clouds. It's a great spring afternoon for baseball in the Basin. You wouldn't be able to tell it just from looking, but again, that rain coming down yesterday. I was given a little bit of a field report out there that the infield has been well taken care of. I heard reports this morning of a couple of the administrators here at Henley High School, and actually some of the coaching staff from Pendleton came out here early this morning just to take a look at the field. And, of course, they see Coach Rosser, who, of course, is the namesake of Rosser Field, out here with a leaf blower, literally blowing air onto spots in the infield to make sure it was dry enough. He actually made it so dry that they had to re-wet the infield to make sure it remained playable for today. So they really took care of that stuff. It's just the outfield, a little bit soggy there. Not much you can do about the grass. But regardless, it's playable, and here we are for the quarterfinals. Grayson English takes a look at a pitch low and away for ball one, and then he takes strike one on a knee-high breaking pitch, and the count is even to English. The number 4 batter in the Buckaroos order will be followed by Nathan Driscoll and Colt McQuinn. Pitch from Hamilton, line drive into center field, and a leadoff single for Grayson English, and he gets aboard to start the second inning for the Buckaroos. First hit of the day for them. This brings up Nathan Driscoll, the starting second baseman today for the Buckaroos. Taking a look at the season numbers for Driscoll, he is batting .368 this season for the Buckaroos. The majority of his hits have been singles, but he does have 5 doubles, a couple of triples on the year for him. Middle infield ready for a double play. The corners are in, trying to protect maybe a bunt against the second baseman, but the first pitch is a curveball. That is sliced foul. The count is 0-1 to Nathan Driscoll. After him in the order is Colt McQuinn. Driscoll, a junior this season, stands 6'2" in the right-handed batter's box for the Pendleton Nixyaawii co-op. Here's the 0-1 to Driscoll. Hamilton's going to miss wide with the heater. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Winner gets a trip to the semifinals of this one. Of course, waiting for either the Hornets or the Buckaroos in that semifinal matchup is Tillamook, the 12 seed in the bracket. The 1-1 pitch will have to wait. They make a move over to English at first, and he is back safely. Yesterday, the Henley softball team was on a road trip in their quarterfinal matchup. The 7-seed Hornets wound up losing to 2-seed St. Helens. Their season is over, but the baseball team trying to continue their run here today. And the 1-1 pitch is fouled back. The count is now 1-2 to Nathan Driscoll. We'll get that netting fixed for you here in just a moment, probably after the conclusion of this at-bat. The 1-ball, 2-strike count to Nathan Driscoll. Hamilton takes a look at the runner at first, and now we get the pitch. It is a line drive. Shively plays it on a hop onto Sims for one. They throw to Meyer, and they get them both. 6-4-3 double play, and there's 2 gone in the second inning. So that'll bring up Colt McQuinn with 2 outs and the base is empty in the top of the second inning, and he takes ball 1 low below the knees. After McQuinn in the order, should he get aboard, it's the left fielder Eli Smith. That one's going to miss upstairs. Fastball from Hamilton. Count is 2-0. For Quinn this season, he is a .391 hitter for the Buckaroos. The 2-0 pitch from Hamilton is an inside fastball, jammed him on the swing and a miss, 2-1. A team that hits well for average. The Buckaroos is a team bat .363, which is about 100 points better than most conference teams that the Hornets have to face during the regular season. As Hamilton sneaks in a fastball just below the knees over the plate for strike 2. Counts 2-2 to Colt McQuinn. Hamilton kicks and delivers, and a foul ball. No, it was a drop third strike. Takini up with it. Throw on to first is in time, and that'll do in the second inning. The Buckaroos down in order. We go to the bottom half of the second next. Scoreless on mybasin.com.
At Geno's on East Main Street, we're always ready for sports season.
And now is a perfect time to connect with us.
We're open every morning at 6:30, serving simply good food
for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We offer breakfast burritos and burgers all day, Italian family recipes,
monthly specials, amazing desserts, and of course, your choice of cold or hot beverages.
Call 884-6474 right now to place a food order for pickup or use DoorDash delivery.
Or best of all, come dine in with us.
Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Check out our full menu and all our activities at ilovegenos.com. Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Josh Eldridge back with you, getting ready for the second inning of action, bottom of the second inning at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union for a baseball quarterfinals here on mybasin.com, presented to you by the Henley Booster Club today. Middle of the Henley order due up, trying to get something started. Ian Meyer, Derek Cox, and Corbin Hamilton. Both teams defensively playing sound through the first inning and a half. Both defenses have been able to turn an infield double play to help save the pitcher some heartache. But the Hornets trying to get a rally started here. Ian Meyer will take strike one on the inner third. The senior for Henley this season has had a great one, to say the very least. .410 his batting average, I think far supersedes what we had expected from Meyer's production this year. And here he'll get hit by a pitch for what is the ninth time this season. And a leadoff base runner for the Hornets. He'll take it any way he can. Meyer gets plunked. Lead off the base, or the inning with a base runner. Here's Derek Cox getting ready to step in now. And from a guy like Ian Meyer, who you expected to have a good season, but not the kind of season he's turned in, I think Derek Cox is right where you want him to be. As a sophomore, has made such a big jump from his freshman season to now. He bats .403 on the season for the Hornets. The pitch to Cox is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Cox on the season, not only is he fourth on the team in average, he's also got the team lead in home runs with 4. He's got 9 doubles, which is third most on the team. And I think we had an issue with the base umpire, but it looks like we're ready to go. But all to say is Cox has been a vital part of this team. They slotted him in as the starting third baseman way back in March, and he's pretty much started every game there since then. He's found consistency on the defensive end and, of course, in that right-handed batter's box as he takes the 0-1 pitch upstairs. The count is even at a ball and a strike. On deck for the Hornets is Corbin Hamilton, a starting pitcher today. He's hoping to bat with a couple of men on, but it's up to Derek to get on base here. Meyer, a small lead off of first. He takes another step and a half as Furstenberg comes set. The righty from Pendleton checks the runner, now delivers home. The 1-1 is going to hit him. And back-to-back hit batsman for Pendleton is going to put 2 men on with nobody out, and Corbin Hamilton at the plate. And you're going to have a conversation here. Coach Spear up and out of the dugout. I think he might ask about a potential foul ball here. I thought it sounded a little bit different than when Meyer was hit, although it would have gotten Derek, I think, in the hand rather than Meyer got him plunked straight in the back. Maybe they're trying to say he leaned into it, perhaps. They're going to all have a discussion about it. Not exactly sure what it might be, but as they discuss, we will remind you that today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Country Financial. Most people understand the need for life insurance, but not many want to talk about why it's essential to your financial plan. It might seem intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. You can give Gary Sheen at Country Financial a call at 541-884-1700. Also want to recognize that today's broadcast is brought to you and presented by the Oregon Schools Activities Association. It is, of course, their quarterfinal matchup. If you want to be an official in Oregon and help out the OSAA, they're always looking for officials. You can visit osaa.org/officials to get your officiating journey started, whether it's baseball or softball, football, volleyball, soccer, whatever it might be. They need you. Visit osaa.org/officials. So the hit by pitch will stand. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And here's Corbin Hamilton. Meyer in scoring position, Cox aboard at first. Meyer showing bunt. He shoots one foul down the third base side. The count is 0-1. No shocker there as Hamilton trying to lay down a bunt to move a couple of guys into scoring position. After Hamilton in the order, it's Alex Smith for Henley. But the corners playing in here for Pendleton. Kroll on the left side, stepping in on the grass, and the first baseman English playing in front of the runner, Derek Cox. Derek can get quite a sizable lead if he wants off of that first base bag as Furstenberg comes set with the 0-1. Hamilton shows bunt again, and this time keeps it fair in front of the mound. Up with it is Furstenberg. There's no play to be made, and everyone is safe. Furstenberg went to third there, but nobody was home. Instead of taking the easy play at first, everybody is safe, and the bases are loaded. Now a chance for Alex Smith to break our scoreless tie in this one. The sophomore bats .308 on the season. A small sample size for Smith. He's only played in 6 games. He's only had 18 at-bats. A late season junior varsity call-up, but a big opportunity here in the bottom of the second inning of the state quarterfinals. The first pitch from Furstenberg is lifted foul to right side. The count is 0-1. Smith just underneath that pitch, and it wound up popping foul. The count is 0-1 to the Henley right fielder. After Alex in the order, it's Max Price. Board at third is Ian Meyer. Derek Cox at second, Corbett Hamilton at first. And the 0-1 from Furstenberg is going to dip below the zone, get away from the catcher McQuinn for a second, but he's able to keep it in front of him, disallowing anyone from advancing around the bases. McQuinn the catcher, Kroll at third, McQuinn at shortstop, Driscoll at second, English at first, and the outfield at Smid, Harrington, and Nelson from left to right. 1-1 the count. Furstenberg now working out of the windup with the bases loaded. Here comes the 1-1. It's a check swing, but Smith, I don't think he went around, but I think it was a called strike anyway. A good curveball found the lower outside portion of the zone to Smith, and he's behind a ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, and the bases loaded in the bottom of the second inning. McQuinn delivers the sign to Furstenberg. He's delivering. The 1-2, hit into the air, center field, moving over is Harrington. He is going to make the catch. Tagging from third is Ian Meyer. The throw-in is going to be cut off, and Meyer scores. The Hornets are on the board in the state quarterfinal. Sacrifice fly for Alex Smith. Give him the RBI. Meyer scoring the run. He is the only one to have advanced. Cox still stands at second. Hamilton aboard at first. And in steps Max Price. Good to see Max return to the defensive lineup early in the season. I want to say it was mid-March. He was taken out of the lineup. He had a right elbow ailment. He's been kind of working in a few at-bats here and there. But today in the quarterfinal, making his first defensive start as he takes strike one on the outside corner. After Max Price in the order, it's Ryan Douglas. Corners in, protecting the bunt against Max, but he didn't show it on the first strike. He would only have one opportunity to lay it down if they decide to do so here. Pitch to Price is swung on and fouled back out of play. The count is 0-2. 1 out in the inning and 2 on for the Hornets in a 1-0 ball game in the OSAA state quarterfinals as the Hornets host the Pendleton Buckaroos. Price digs back into the right side. Set on the mound is Furstenberg, and the pitch. Price hits that one again, out of play, foul behind home plate. Sticks around to see at least one more pitch. Max Price on the season, like I said, hasn't been in the lineup a lot as of late, but still a .250 hitter for the Hornets. Had been used a lot of the season as a courtesy runner. It's not like he's been completely absent as the 0-2 is fouled straight back once more. We'll do it again with Max. There you see Douglas on your screen, who's on deck for the Hornets. For those of you watching on mybasin.com, appreciate you. However you found our broadcast, whether you're a Hornets fan, you've been with us all season long, or you're a Pendleton fan tuning in today, appreciate you finding our broadcast this afternoon. The 0-2 to Max Price. Price is going to call time before the pitch. Furstenberg had been set for a moment, but now it looks like we're ready to go. McQuinn gives the signal. Furstenberg checks the runner at second, now motions home and delivers a pitch that misses below the zone. The count is a ball and 2 strikes for Max Price. Coach Teeters down the third base side, giving his signals to Price in the batter's box. Like I said, a .250 hitter, 10 hits, a couple of doubles on the season, 11 RBI, but he scored 30 runs. Like I said, he's been used as a courtesy runner throughout a lot of the season. The 1-2 to Price. Hit in the air, center field, nearly right at Harrington. He comes in a couple of steps, makes the catch for the second out. Nobody tagging, and there's 2 gone in the second inning. Brings up Ryan Douglas for the Hornets. 2 outs, 2 runners on. Bottom of the second inning, a 1-0 ball game. Henley leads. Douglas on the season, a .242 hitter for the Hornets. Douglas was absent from the starting lineup in the regular season finale against Mazama, but of course wanted him playing in that game against Astoria back on Tuesday, a game that the Hornets won, of course, in the opening round 5-4. In that game, Ryan Douglas was 1 for 3 with an RBI. Here he sends a line drive into center field for a base hit. They're waving in Derek Cox, and he is going to score on the base hit. Douglas with an RBI single, and the Hornets lead 2-0. They kept Hamilton at second. Aboard at first is Douglas, and now it's up to Connor Shively to try to keep the rally going for the Henley Hornets. Shively 0 for 1 in the ball game so far today. He grounded out back in the first inning. 2 men on, still 2 men out. Here's the pitch. Shively rips one into center field. That one is going to get down in front of the center fielder, Harrington. Hamilton comes in to score. They hold Douglas at second, Douglas at third, and into second is Connor Shively with a double and an RBI. It is 3-0 Hornets, 2 men in scoring position, and here comes Carson Sims. Shively, aggressive base running. I don't think he was ever ready to settle for a single there. He turned around first and was racing to second. Sims now with 2 men in scoring position and 2 men out. Working out of the windup is Furstenberg and the pitch. Sims is going to watch that one sail high. The count's 1-0. Sims 1 for 1 in the ball game today. He singled and was left stranded in the first inning. Already 3 runs home this half for the Hornets, and 2 more out there waiting for Carson Sims. Furstenberg behind in the count, 1-0, and the pitch into Sims is a line drive over the head of the shortstop into left center field. Could be extra bases. 1 run scores. They wave in Shively, and he scores as well. Sims stays put at first, a 2 RBI single, and the Hornets up 5-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Coach Spear up and out of the dugout to chat things over with Furstenberg. His ace has been rattled here in the second inning, giving up 5 earned runs. We'll see what they decide to do for the Buckaroos as they discuss things on the hill out there. We'll remind you, today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness and Performance. Elevate uses a modern and research-backed approach to physical therapy to ensure you see both a reduction in pain and enhanced mobility, getting you back to peak levels of optimal health and wellness. Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance has been treating athletes of all ages since 2020. All right, Furstenberg going to stay in the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Jacoby Tacchini, the 9th batter to hit this half inning for the Hornets. Started with Meyer and Derek Cox getting hit by back-to-back pitches. Corbin Hamilton singled. Smith had a sacrifice fly, and after Price flew out, it's been back-to-back-to-back base hits for Henley, and none greater so far than the 2 RBI single from Carson Sims a moment ago. We'll see if Tacchini can add to it. Sims on the move. It's a curveball in, called a strike. The throw down is not in time, and Sims swipes second. Now he's into scoring position for the team leader in RBI this year. Jacoby Tacchini on the season with 31 RBI. And actually, after Sims knocked in 2 RBI a moment ago, he actually pulled even with Tacchini in that team lead with 31 runs batted in. The 0-1 pitch to Tacchini, lifted to right field. Coming in is Nelson. He is going to make the catch, and that will end the inning. But the Hornets score 5 runs on 4 base hits, and they leave 1 stranded. It's a 5-0 ball game as we go to the third next on 104.3, 960 Sports, and mybasin.com.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other, a place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
Josh Eldridge, glad to be back with you here on mybasin.com and 104.3 and 960 Sports here in the Klamath Basin. Our broadcast to you presented by the Henley Booster Club. Of course, when you get to postseason play, the OSAA owns the rights to their own playoff broadcasts. And we have to, of course, pay a rights fee to be able to keep this broadcast to you for free on this afternoon. And big thanks to the Henley Booster Club for coming in with that rights fee and making sure this broadcast is free for not only Hornets fans, but also Pendleton fans to be able to watch today, as Corbin Hamilton gets Eli Smith started with a ball on the inside corner. Count is 1-0 to the Pendleton left fielder, Craig Kroll, and Tug McQuinn are due up this half inning for the Buckaroos. It's a 2-0 count to leadoff hitter, the number 7 hitter in the order, Eli Smith. The Hornets plated 5 runs in the bottom half of the second. Corbin Hamilton a part of that, the man on the mound now for Henley. It's up to him to try and maintain this advantage as he delivers a pitch that was fouled off by Smith. The count is 2 balls and a strike to him. Smith batting here from the right side, wide in the box. The pitch from Hamilton is a check swing, but a called strike anyway. It is even 2-2. Taking a look at the numbers for Smith this season, a .338 hitter for the Buckaroos. 25 of his 27 hits have been singles, but here he is going to get jammed up on a breaking pitch, swung on and missed, and there's one gone in the third inning. This will bring up Craig Kroll, the starting third baseman for the Buckaroos, just needing base runners here for the part of Pendleton. Hornets scored 5 runs, but they did so with only 1 extra base hit in the inning. A lot of it was just moving guys station to station. And in the postseason, that's exactly what you got to do. But it all starts with a single base runner. Craig Kroll falls behind in the count 0-1 after Hamilton hugged the outside corner on the 2-seam. Elevates a fastball here, and Kroll swings underneath it. And now the count is 0-2 to the Pendleton starting third baseman. Chokes up a little bit, digs back into the right side. Takini delivers the sign, and Hamilton delivers the pitch. A 2-seamer is hit the other way, kind of jammed up Kroll. Hit that one off the inside of his bat and was late on it a little bit. Hamilton, after going away with the fastball, tried to jam him on one inside, but still in an 0-2 count. He can be selective up there. Shakes off the first offering and now agrees to dish up a curveball that got Kroll looking for back-to-back Ks in the third inning. That is 3 consecutive strikeouts dating back to the second inning for Hamilton, and 4 total on the game so far, and it brings up Tug McQuinn. And before I say anything else about a gentleman named Tug McQuinn, I just got to say that's a fantastic baseball name. 0-1, he comes up empty on the failed bunt attempt, but Tug McQuinn settles back in, batting here from the right side. Here's the 0-1. That one is fouled straight back. The count is 0-2. Hamilton hits the ball back, digs back in on the rubber, and is ready to go in an 0-2 count. Trying to make quick work of the Buckaroos here in the third. From the windup, kicks and delivers. Curveball caught the inside corner. And McQuinn goes down looking. 4 strikeouts in a row for Hamilton. And strikes out the side here in the third. Going to the bottom half next in the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals on mybasin.com.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan.
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Josh Eldridge, glad to be back with you for the bottom of the third inning at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals. Our broadcast to you presented by the Henley Booster Club. Ian Meyer settling in, line drive, center field, going back is Harrington. That is caught in center field by Harrington. Running straight back to the wall, a good catch by the Pendleton center fielder for the first out in the third inning. And that'll bring up Derek Cox. Corbin Hamilton is on deck for the Hornets. They lead 5-0 here in the bottom of the third inning of this quarterfinal matchup against the Buckaroos. Derek Cox was hit by a pitch his first time up. He would come in to score in that 5-run second inning the Hornets put together. Cox nearly hit again as Furstenberg tried to break off an inside curveball, but it didn't break enough, and the count is 1-0 to Derek Cox. Furstenberg ready to deliver the pitch, goes back-to-back curveballs. This time, it's a swing and a miss from Derek Cox. Went inside and went outside with the slow stuff. We'll see where Furstenberg goes now. Of course, he got into some trouble in the second inning, but Pendleton and their coaching staff, they feel confident to keep him out there trying to work out this inning. Yikes, that one came up and in to Derek Cox. Second time he's been hit today, and that one was scary. He had to duck out of the way of it, and it still hit him up by the arm. And he's going to be okay. That one starts to get annoying after you get hit the second time. I always say the first one's okay, you'll take first base, but if you get hit a second time, the feelings change. So Derek is going to get aboard on first with one out in the inning, and it brings up Corbin Hamilton. He singled and later scored in the second inning. Middle infield ready to turn two for the Buckaroos as the first pitch is going to get away from the catcher McQuinn. Hits off the brick backstop, but not enough of a bounce back to stop Cox from advancing to second base. And after getting hit on the previous pitch, Cox now into scoring position. It's a 1-0 count to Hamilton. There's one out in the bottom of the third inning of a 5-0 ball game. The Hornets lead the Buckaroos in this quarterfinal matchup. Hamilton keeps his hands low in the right-handed batter's box as Furstenberg delivers the pitch. It's an off-speed pitch lifted the opposite way. The count is even at a ball and a strike. Of course, the Buckaroos, the defending state champs from a season ago, defeating Marist Catholic in the title game, a score of 14-3. The Buckaroos, like I said, no stranger to having to battle through a playoff gauntlet. Last year, en route to a state championship game, they beat the first, second, and third seeds in that title run. And of course, now here in the quarterfinal, running into number one Henley's. The 1-1, missed outside, made it a 2-1 count to Corbin Hamilton. And they were in a similar spot last year, although not exactly the same. They were the 7 seed, not the 8 seed, but still. Tough gauntlet. The 2-1 is ripped the opposite way. Out of play foul. 2-2 to Corbin Hamilton with Alex Smith waiting on deck. The Pendleton softball team's season ended here just last week as the Buckaroos lost to the Henley Hornets in a great game. I believe 12-8 was the final score back on Tuesday for the Pendleton softball team. The 2-2 pitch. That one, a slider missed upstairs. 3-2. Corbin digging back in. Leading off as second is Derek Cox. Not terribly aggressive, and the second baseman Driscoll trying to keep him honest over there. The 3-2 into Hamilton, bounces to the plate. It'll be ball 4, but since it got away from McQuinn for a moment, that allows Derek Cox to advance to third. Runners at the corners here for Alex Smith, and we'll see if they've got anything going on with Hamilton aboard at first. Smith is without an official at-bat today, although he did have an RBI sacrifice fly and an RBI his first time up. Helped Henley score their first run of the ball game. Here's the pitch to Alex Smith. Hamilton not much of a lead off of first. The pitch in is called a strike. Fastball caught the outside corner. And the count is 0-1 to Alex Smith. Furstenberg going to have to dig deep here. Double play is in order, so don't expect Smith to get anything elevated in the zone, especially since a fly ball could score Cox from third. Furstenberg's going to try to work him down. Here's that pitch. It's in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, McQuinn, and that takes away the double play possibility as Hamilton advances to second base. It's a 1-1 count to Smith. Now if you're Furstenberg, feels like you need a strikeout against Alex Smith. Alex got to be ready to hit here in a 1-1 count. You can expect to probably going to get a strike to hit here. The 1-1. There was an outside curveball called strike two. It was a good pitch that time from Furstenberg. Started up above the zone and then kind of snuck in the outside corner as it dropped. So now, with 2 strikes on Smith, he'll choke up a bit. And Furstenberg looking for that put-away pitch. Set on the hill is Reed Furstenberg. Kicks and delivers. Inside curveball swung on and missed. Got Smith swinging. And there's 2 outs in the third inning. And if you're Reed Furstenberg, just what the doctor ordered to try to get yourself out of this jam. It was 2 free passes that allowed each of these guys to reach base. Derek Cox, who stands at third, was hit by a pitch. If you asked Derek, he probably wouldn't tell you it was free, but regardless, Corbin Hamilton walked, and he's at second base. We're also going to get a meeting on the mound here after this one for Furstenberg after that strikeout, as I believe that was Coach Spear up and out of the dugout once more in his 3rd season with the Buckaroos. And you look at the history of this Pendleton baseball program, a lot of winning baseball. In fact, they haven't had a losing season since 2017. That year they went 10-16. Every year after that, they've had a winning season, including 5 years with at least 20 wins in 2018, in 2023, in 2025, and of course this year as well. So pardon me, 4 seasons with 20 wins. So a really good ball club, of course, culminating with a state championship a season ago in 2025 for the Buckaroos. Hornets have a similar long-standing tradition of success, and here these 2 programs clashing in the state quarterfinals. The Hornets with a 5-run lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. There's 2 outs and 2 men in scoring position for Max Price, who is getting ready to go against Reed Furstenberg. Stays in the game after that quick conversation with his coach, and Furstenberg starts out Price with a ball low, 1-0. Price is 0 for 1 in the ball game today. He flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. Set on the hill is Furstenberg, and the 1-0 is swung on and missed. The count is a ball and a strike. Furstenberg dialed up the breaking pitch to get Price out in front of that one. And so the swing and a miss evens the count with Ryan Douglas waiting on deck. First base is open as Furstenberg tries to get himself out of this jam. The 1-1 is hit foul. Ball and 2 strikes to Max Price. Price a junior, but he's been on varsity all 3 seasons for the Hornets. Had a smaller role as a freshman last year, started most of the games. Usually you'll see Max Price pitch a little bit. This year, though, of course, that elbow injury, he's been limited to mostly a courtesy running and pinch hitting role. Getting the start on the defensive end today for the first time since March. The 1-2 checks his swing. Did he hold up in time? We're going to check the swing. He did not go. Count is 2-2 to Max Price. The Pendleton coaching staff less than thrilled with that check down call, but regardless, Furstenberg's going to come back and try to find strike 3 against Max Price. Set on the hill is Furstenberg. Kicks and delivers. Price went down and got a pitch below the zone, but he was able to foul it off. Count remains 2-2. Foul down to the Henley Hornets fans that populate the first base foul line. There's quite a few fans here behind home plate, and I got to say for Pendleton, what's that, an 8.5 hour plus drive, I think. And they got a pretty good contingent of fans here today, but we've got lots of Hornets fans in attendance on a Saturday afternoon in Klamath Falls. The 2-2 again to Max Price. And the pitch is hit into the gap, left center field. That one is going. It is down for extra bases as it one-hops the wall. A run will score, and Price is into second. 2-run score as well. Cox touches home, Hamilton in as well. A 2 RBI double for Max Price. It is 7-5 Hornets. And we've got timeout on the field, and I think we're going to see a pitching change come up for Pendleton here, as this is the second mound meeting this half inning. The Hornets up 7-0 in the bottom of the third inning. And before we head to commercial, I want to make sure that we got to see a pitching change here. Like I said, I think this is the second meeting this half inning. But we'll see exactly how this happens as that 2 RBI double for Max Price. Let's go ahead and update the numbers for him on the season after that RBI double. For Max, collecting his third double of the season and his 13th RBI. And there goes Furstenberg walking off the hill. We're going to get a new pitcher in for Pendleton. It's a 7-0 ball game here in the bottom half of inning number 3. We'll step aside in just a moment, give the new guy time to warm up. We'll introduce him to you next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Today's coverage of the OSAA quarterfinals brought to you by the Henley Booster Club.
Looking for insurance from someone who truly understands rural Klamath? Meet Gabby Haskins, a licensed agent for Country Financial, born and raised in Merrill, with deep roots in agriculture and the local way of life. Whether you're protecting your family farm, homes, vehicles, businesses, Gabby's here to help. She offers trusted, personalized insurance for farm, life, home, auto, commercial, and retirement needs at Gary Sheen's Country Financial office in Merrill. Stop by today and see why Merrill residents trust one of their own. Country Financial, here to help you experience more in Merrill.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
We welcome you back to the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals on 104.3 960 Sports. Our coverage, too, presented by the Henley Booster Club. Big thanks to all the folks involved there and making today's broadcast possible and free for everybody watching and listening across the state of Oregon today. It is a 7-0 ball game in the bottom of the third inning. The Henley Hornets leading the 8-seeded Pendleton Buckaroos. And new pitcher into the game for Pendleton is Kelly Spencer. Spencer on the season is making his 11th overall appearance. They've all been in relief this year. 13 innings pitched for Spencer. He's allowed 10 hits, 8 runs, only 4 of them earned. He's walked 11 and struck out 16, an ERA of 2.15, although only 13 innings pitched, a small sample size for him, although in the work that he has, he's been effective for the Buckaroos this season, throwing from the left side. Spencer, a 5'10 junior, looking to quell this Hornets lineup that has made the Buckaroos pay for a number of mistakes today. A 2 RBI double from Max Price extended Henley's lead earlier this inning, and both of the runs that scored were either hit by a pitch or walked aboard. Henley has scored 2 runs this frame on only 1 hit, and Douglas a chance to add to that. Ryan Douglas steps into the right-handed batter's box 1 for 1 today with an RBI single back in the second inning. First pitch is going to miss wide to Douglas, 1-0. Can't quite close the book on Furstenberg yet, as he is responsible for the runner at second, Price. And the 1-0 is swung on and missed. Douglas chasing a pitch in the dirt on that one. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Douglas has been productive here in the tail end of the season for the Hornets. Come up in spots just like this one he did back in the opening round on Tuesday. He's already come up with an RBI hit earlier today and looking for more. The 1-1 into Douglas is an off-speed pitch that misses off the plate away. 2 balls and a strike to Douglas. The Henley lineup card turns over next with Connor Shively waiting on deck. Big lead off a second for Price. Driscoll not really holding him over there. And the pitch into Douglas is going to miss away, and Rhinos ahead in the count 3-0. Douglas celebrated his senior day about 2 weeks ago. It was announced then that he's been accepted to Oregon State University, where he plans to become a veterinarian. Won't be continuing his playing career, but certainly a noble career path for Douglas. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It misses outside. Ryan will take a walk, and Connor Shively due up with 2 men on and 2 men out. Shively is 1 for 2 today. He grounded out in the first, but he doubled and would later score in the second inning. Had an RBI in that second inning as well. Lefty versus lefty here with 2 outs in the third. The pitch, Shively out in front of the off-speed stuff, comes up empty. The count is 0-1. Shively has seen the average dip a little bit these last couple of games, but I think that's more regressing to the mean because he's still batting over 400. He was up around 450 for the middle part of league play as this pitch winds up behind him and will roll all the way to the backstop, allowing both runners to advance. Price to third, Douglas to second, and now a 2 RBI opportunities for Shively in a 1-1 count at the plate. Like I said, although he's seen that dip a little bit, it's still a great season for Shively. 407, he's still coming up with about 2 hits per game, 25 singles, 5 doubles, 5 triples. Has yet to leave the yard yet this season, and in a leadoff spot, doesn't have a ton of RBI, only 16 on the year, but a golden opportunity here in a 1-1 count. Shively rips one into the gap, right center field. It'll score 1, and they're giving Douglas the green light 2. He is in. 9-0 Henley in the third. Hornets bats rolling here on a Saturday afternoon in the Basin. 9 runs here in 2 2/3 innings, and it brings up Carson Sims. Sims is 2 for 2 today. Couple of singles and 2 RBI for him. That came on a base hit in the second inning. Shively, couple of step lead off of first. And here's the pitch coming in from Spencer. That one's going to miss wide. The count is 1-0. Doesn't look like there's anyone warming up out there in the Pendleton bullpen, but only 3 batters into the appearance here for Spencer. He's given up a couple of base hits and a walk. Here's the 1-0. That one's going to miss upstairs. It was letter high, but off the outside of the plate. The count is 2-0 to Carson Sims. Jacoby Takini is due up next. 4 runs already home this half inning for Henley. Set on the hill is Spencer. Kicks and delivers. That pitch is going to miss wide, and the count is 3-0. We'll see if Sims has got the green light here in a 3-0 count, or if they try to force Spencer to get across a strike. Sims is a guy you feel comfortable with, a couple of strikes on him, so wouldn't be surprised if he's taking here, and he is, and that pitch missed low anyway. And so a walk delivered to Sims, and Coach Spear coming up out of the dugout to discuss things with his pitcher, and it advances Shively to second. Sims is aboard, and that'll bring up Jacoby Takini, and we will see a pitching change here for the Buckaroos. We'll step aside one more time here in the third inning of a 9-0 ball game. Back after this on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you are aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Over the last year, you've heard and seen the advertisement for God's Gifts 2, a local photographer who travels to high school sporting events and takes individual and team action photos at a great price. Something you may not know, though, is that the money from God's Gifts Photography supports 6 children in Kenya who Annalisa has met on mission trips. If you'd like to capture your athlete in action and help support these kids, call 541-281-2206. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook.
Welcome you back to the bottom of the third inning here on 104.3 960 Sports, mybasin.com. It's 9-0. Henley leads. Let's take a look at Vance Nelson here for just a moment, the new man on the hill for the Pendleton Buckaroos, making his 9th appearance of the season, his 7th in relief. He's pitched 16 2/3 innings. He's got a 2-2 record and an ERA of 4.2 entering play today. He got a save back in the opening round against Malala, pitched 2 innings there. He did not allow any runs. He allowed 1 hit. He did allow 2 runs in that game, 1 hit, and he struck out 3 batters in that contest, trying to stop the bleeding here against the Hornets. Kelly Spencer will stay in the game, by the way, moved over to right field, and that's where Vance Nelson comes in from, is that right field position. Otherwise, no changes for Pendleton here in the bottom of the third inning. 2 runners on, though, for the Hornets. Connor Shively aboard at second, Carson Sims aboard at first, and here's Jacoby Takini. First pitch swinging. He was out in front of that one, and I think it actually hit his arm, but he did swing. And so that's a strike, as Takini needs to gather himself there in the box. Count is 0-1. Wanted to swing at that first pitch that came out of the hand of Nelson, but maybe was a little bit mixed up on the velocity there. Like I said, way out in front of that off-speed stuff. Takini grounded into a double play in the first. He flew out in the second. Calls timeout at the plate before the 0-1 pitch. Set on the hill is Nelson. Kicks and delivers. Takini hits one to right field. That's down near the line. Shively gets waved in, and the throw in from right is going to cause Sims to be held up at third, but an RBI single for Takini, and it's 10-0 Hornets. Give Takini an RBI, his 32nd of the season. We're also going to see a courtesy runner come in for him. I believe that's Porter Frost over there at first base. It typically is hard to make out his number. We're going to call him Porter until I'm proven otherwise. As Ian Meyer gets ready to step in now. Here we go. And yes, that is the junior Porter Frost in at first. Runners at the corner, still 2 outs in the inning. Henley up 10-0 against the Pendleton Buckaroos. And Meyer will get hit for the second time today. And that will load the bases for Derek Cox. So, Frost is going to move up to second. Aboard at first is Ian Meyer. And here's Derek Cox now with the bases loaded. By the way, 4 hit batsmen have all come to either Ian Meyer or Derek Cox today. Those guys are probably tired of wearing it. Derek's been hitting each of his first 2 at-bats. He's scored each time, though. And being hit here would add another RBI, although I'm sure he'd like to knock in a few with a good base hit, as that pitch upstairs misses 1-0. After Derek in the order, it's Corbin Hamilton. This third out has been difficult to find for Pendleton here in the third inning. Pitch on the way from Vance Nelson. That's nearly going to get Cox, but it's called a strike on the inside corner. 1-1. After the second out was recorded, Henley went double, walk, single, hit by pitch in these last handful of batters. And they've scored 5 runs in this inning. Pitch to Cox is swung on and missed, but it rolls down the line away from the catcher. Sims is going to stay put at third, but now there's 2 strikes after a swing and a miss from Cox at the plate. And Nelson trying to get out of this inning for Pendleton. They are desperately needing some runs to start the fourth next frame, trying to keep it just a 10-run ball game. Helps them avoid a potential mercy rule in the quarterfinal. The Hornets trying to add some insurance. The pitch to Cox, swung on and missed the elevated fastball, and that will do it in the third. We'll be back in 1 minute's time to get you set for the top of the fourth inning at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals on mybasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN. Expert care when it matters most.
Getting set now for the top of the fourth inning here on 104.3 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Our coverage of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball Quarterfinals is brought to you by the Henley Booster Club. Let's check a line score on each of these teams through the first three innings. For the Henley Hornets, 10 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They have left 4 runners on base so far. For Pendleton, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They have left no runners on base so far today. Corbin Hamilton still working out there for Henley, working with a big lead here that he'd like to protect. 10 runs is that golden number you look for as Hamilton offers up the first pitch to Colin Harrington, who fouls it off. The count is 0-1. After Harrington, it's Reed Furstenberg and then Vance Nelson. The top of the order due up for the Buckaroos here in the fourth. The 0-1 swung on and missed. The count is 0-2 on Harrington, who's 0-for-1 in the ball game today. He flew out back in the first inning. Hamilton kicks and delivers, goes off speed again. This one popped up right side of the infield. Ian Meyer, the first baseman, settles underneath it and makes the catch. 1 out in the fourth inning. This will bring up Reed Furstenberg. Started the game as the pitcher for the Buckaroos, has since left the game defensively, but he stays in the game as the team's designated hitter. He's now hitting in the place of Kelly Spencer, who is the right fielder for the Buckaroos. But again, Furstenberg was written as the pitcher or the DH. He'll stay in that DH spot, and he'll stay hitting here. On the season for Furstenberg, a .393 hitter. And we can also close the book on him defensively, or pardon me, on the mound, I suppose, for Henley. We'll do that here in just a moment, as here's the first pitch from Corbin Hamilton. It's a curveball, swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. Furstenberg, as the pitcher, exited the game after 2 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, and he struck out 1 batter. The count is ball and a strike to Furstenberg, with Vance Nelson waiting on deck. Hamilton delivers to the lefty Furstenberg. That pitch misses low, and the count is 2 balls and a strike to Furstenberg. Reed Furstenberg, a freshman, putting up the numbers that he has this season. Really impressive for Pendleton. They got to be really excited about the future of this kid over the next couple of seasons. Like I said, was their ace on the mound with a sub 2.2 ERA. He's batting up over .390 as a freshman. That's impressive stuff. The 2-2, curveball on the outside, rung him up. Hamilton got that one gift wrapped for him a little bit there as he sends Furstenberg packing for a strikeout the second time today, and it brings up Vance Nelson. Might have been an inch or so off the plate, but credit to Hamilton, man. He's been around the zone all day today. That's 6 strikeouts for him. through the first 3 2/3 innings, and you work around the zone like that all day long, the umpires will start to give you those 50-50 balls, even those 60-40 balls, which that one might have been on that last pitch. Here Hamilton finds a firm fastball on the outside, gets ahead 0-1, and the 0-1 pitch is sliced foul the other way, 0-2. Nelson behind in the count against the Henley right-hander, the junior, Corbin Hamilton. Nelson digs back in. He's taken over the pitching duties for Pendleton. Here's the 0-2. Curveball rung him up. Back-to-back Ks will end the fourth inning for Corbin Hamilton. 7 on the day. The righty is dealing here in the quarterfinals. Bottom of the fourth due up next on mybasin.com.
Hi, I'm Jill with Klamath Falls Honda. If you live in Southern Oregon, you know the weather can keep you guessing. 1 minute it can be sunny, and the next, something like this. That's why vehicles like the Honda Ridgeline just make sense. With available all-wheel drive and the capability to handle whatever rolls in, you're ready for it. And customers like Rob are ready too.
Couldn't have picked a better day.
So whether it's sunshine or snow, stop by and say hi. We'll keep you safe on the road.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local community engaged.
Getting set now for the bottom of the fourth inning. The Henley Hornets with a 10-run lead against the Pendleton Buckaroos in the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A baseball quarterfinals. Want to once again recognize the Henley Booster Club for allowing this broadcast to be free for you this afternoon. We get to this time of year and the OSAA owns the rights to their video broadcasting or their playoff video broadcasting rights. NFHS Network typically comes in and does a pay-per-view model, but thanks to the Henley Booster Club, we're able to keep this broadcast to you for free today, whether you're a Pendleton fan, whether you're a Henley fan, or whether you're just an Oregon baseball fan. Thanks to you, and thanks to the Henley Booster Club for allowing this broadcast to be free this afternoon. Corbin Hamilton, Alex Smith, and Max Price do up this half inning for the Hornets, and the first pitch to Hamilton misses down and in. Has to scoot out of the way of that one, but he gets ahead 1-0. Hamilton has reached base twice today, and he scored both times. Once on a single in the second. He also walked in the third. Hamilton fouls off the 1-0 pitch. Count is now even. A ball and a strike to Corbin Hamilton. He has pitched a tremendous game so far. Still some baseball left to be played, but I'll give you the line score here on Corbin in just a minute on the hill. After this 1-1 pitch is sliced the opposite way down the line, but it curves foul down the right field side, so the count is 1-2. Hamilton, through 4 innings pitched on the mound, has allowed 1 hit. He's struck out 7 batters in 47 pitches. And keeping that pitch count down is imperative for the right-hander. Here's the 1-2. That one swung on and missed, chased the upstairs heat, down on strikes for the first out in the fourth inning. Back-to-back strikeouts, by the way, for Vance Nelson after coming out of the bullpen midway through that third inning. And this will bring up Alex Smith. Smith 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the third inning, but he had to sacrifice fly with an RBI in the second. Here he falls behind 0-1 to Vance Nelson. Like I said, Nelson pitched a couple of innings back on Tuesday against Malala. I believe he got the save against Malala in that game, and a hit batsman. Smith is the next one to wear it, as the Buckaroos have now hit Henley with a pitch 5 times. As the first time that it didn't hit either Meyer or Derek Cox. So Smith will be aboard on first with 1 out in the inning, and it brings up Max Price. Price 1 for 2 today. He flew out in the second inning. He doubled home 2 runs in the third. Pitch is going to miss wide. A big lead off of first for Alex Smith. McQuinn thought about throwing down behind him. But with the lead for Henley where it's at right now as the pitcher, you just need to focus on who's at bat. As any runs that come in to score obviously just going to make the lead bigger. They throw down to first, and that was a good throw by McQuinn. You won't often see it, again, like I said, with the lead where it is. It's a risk, for sure, a gamble for the catcher to make that throw. But thought about where the lead was, maybe an unnecessary gamble. But I think at this point, I guess Pendleton needing any out they can get. That's their philosophy, is the 2-0 misses upstairs, counts 3-0. A double play is in order, but Max Price has got some serious speed. You're not likely to get them both unless it's a real hard-hit ground ball, but Nelson has been elevating these pitches. That time he misses low, though, low and away, and that'll be a walk delivered to Max Price. 2 men on, 1 man out for Ryan Douglas. Douglas has reached base twice and scored as many times today. He singled in the second, knocked in a run as well when he singled. He also walked and scored in the third inning. Here's the pitch from Nelson. It's fouled off. The count is 0-1. After Douglas in the order, it is Connor Shively back to the top for the Henley Hornets. And the pitch to Douglas. Nelson pulled the changeup on him, got a swing and a miss. The count is 0-2 to Douglas. That's a good pitch there from Nelson. I don't think we've seen the changeup yet, but that one looked like the fastball out of the hand, and then just kind of dropped off the table against Douglas. Now he's behind in the count 0-2, going to have to get defensive. There's 1 out in the inning and a 10-run lead for the Hornets. The pitch is lifted behind home plate. Looked like out of play. I lost it in the sun. But count is still 0-2. It's been a great day weather-wise here in Klamath Falls. Started the day at 58 degrees. It's now up to 61 here in the basin. Set on the hill with the 0-2 is Nelson. And the pitch swung on and missed, but it is going to be strike 3. The throw winds up in left field, and Smith will stay put at third. So Douglas was out swinging. He couldn't run to first via the drop third strike because first base was occupied. However, with the pitch in the dirt, Smith and Price both advanced. And so Douglas is out. There's 2 gone, 2 in scoring position, and now it's Connor Shively. Shively has got 3 RBI today as he takes a ball, must have been high, that looked like it caught the outside corner, but Shively gets ahead 1-0. Connor grounded out in the first, but has since doubled and singled, and he scored 2 runs. The 1-0 to Shively. That one is taken knee high for a strike over the heart of the plate. Count is even to Shively, and maybe a makeup call there from behind home plate, but regardless, I think the count should be 1-1 anyway, regardless of which pitch was called a ball, which pitch was called a strike, so call it even. The 1-1 to Shively. Line drive up the middle and through and into center field. Smith will score. They're waving in Price. The throw home is going to get away from the catcher, and Price scores. A 2 RBI single for Connor Shively. Give him 5 RBI for the day, and it makes it 12-0 Hornets. Shively also advancing to second on the throw after knocking in Price and Smith. I got to say, that was a good throw in from center field from Harrington, but just short-hopped the catcher a little bit. And, well, as a catcher, I can tell you from experience, you hear those footsteps coming down the third base line. It can sometimes be tough to make a play. And that time, getting the best of McQuinn behind the plate. 2 runs come in to score on the single. And the first pitch to Carson Sims misses inside, 1-0. Sims is 2 for 2 today, couple of RBIs. He's reached base 3 times, though. After he singled in the first and second, he walked in the third. And he has not yet scored a run. He's been left stranded in scoring position each of his last 2 times around the bases. The 2-0 here to Sims. That one's hit into the air, left center field. Looks playable for Harrington as he moves underneath it, and he makes the catch. That will end the inning. The Hornets score 2 runs on a base hit. They leave 1 run stranded, and they're looking for a win in the top half of the 5th next in a 12-0 ball game on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides, or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Getting set now for the top half of inning number 5 as the Hornets look to close out a Mercy Rule win in the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A Baseball quarterfinals. Corbin Hamilton still on the hill for the Henley Hornets, looking to go the distance. If you're curious about pitch counts, I'll give you the details on that here in just a moment as Hamilton misses wide with the first pitch to Grayson English, 1-0. That was pitch number 48 for Corbin Hamilton. He's likely going to get up until 60 pitches today. That would keep him eligible for a semifinal appearance come Tuesday, which would be here at Henley, should the lead hold. Again, a lot of this is trying to bank on future events as Hamilton gets across strike 2. The count is a ball and 2 strikes to Grayson English. So Hamilton's going to try to be efficient. Of course, that's the goal, but real efficient. Try to finish out this complete game because he'll be capped at 60 pitches. The 1-2 is a line drive to center field, caught by Sims, and there's one gone in the 5th inning. This will bring up Nathan Driscoll. He's 0 for 1 today, grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. Driscoll digging in against Hamilton here. He's been efficient, 7 Ks through the first 4 innings as well. First pitch from Hamilton is fouled off. The count is 0-1. After Driscoll in the order, it's the catcher, Colt McQuinn, due up. Hamilton kicks and delivers the 0-1. That one's hit into the air, left center field and down for a base hit. And a 1-out single for Nathan Driscoll, and the Pendleton Buckaroos have a base runner here in the 5th inning. That's the first hit for Pendleton since the 2nd inning when Grayson English got on board. Hornets were quickly able to turn a double play, so far Hamilton has faced the minimum. Trying to roll up a pair here and keep it that way. The first pitch is ripped to left field, but foul. The count is 0-1 to Colt McQuinn. McQuinn was a strikeout casualty back in the 2nd inning. The starting catcher for the Buckaroos stands 5'7", the sophomore in the right-handed batter's box. The 0-1 pitch is a curveball. It swung on and missed. Hamilton going off speed, and McQuinn out in front of that one. The count is 0-2. Eli Smith on deck for the Buckaroos. Hamilton set with the 0-2, and the pitch is swung on and missed. 2 gone in the 5th inning. And this brings up Eli Smith. Hamilton, by the way, at 55 pitches. So Smith steps in, will likely be the last batter that Hamilton faces this game one way or another. The pitch is called a strike on the outside corner. Count is 0-1. Smith struck out back in the 3rd inning of this one. Corbin up to 8 Ks for the game. Here's the 0-1. That one is hit up to second base. Carson Sims gloves it, takes it to the bag himself, and that's the ball game. The Henley Hornets with a 12-0 win, a mercy rule finish in the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A baseball quarterfinals. Corbin Hamilton, a complete game shutout as well. We'll break it all down for you coming up as we take a 2-minute timeout. Back after this on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you're aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Josh Eldridge back with you here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Final score at the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A baseball quarterfinal. The Hornets with a 12-0 win, and they are moving on to the state semifinal. For Henley today, 12 runs, comes on 9 hits. They commit no errors, and they leave 5 runners left on base. For Pendleton today, no runs, 2 hits. They commit no errors, and they leave 1 runner left on base. The winning pitcher today is Corbin Hamilton, who went the distance. 5 innings pitched for Henley today, 2 hits allowed. He struck out 8 batters. The losing pitcher today, I believe, is going to be Reed Furstenberg. Went 2 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1 as well. Couple of notables today for Henley. A 3-for-4 day for Connor Shively. He had 5 RBIs. Carson Sims will be our Abby's legendary pizza player of the game. We'll try to chat with him here in just a moment. 2 for 3. Couple of RBIs for him today. Jacoby Tacchini was 1 for 3 with an RBI as well. Corbin Hamilton 1 for 2. Couple of runs scored for him. Max Price was 1 for 2, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs for Max Price, including a double today for him. With this win, the Henley Hornets, like I said, advance on to the semifinals. Well, they will host the number 12 seed Tillamook Cheesemakers. That game is scheduled for Tuesday. I don't know what time it will be. My guess is 3 o'clock, but obviously we don't know until we know on that one. So Tillamook is awaiting the Henley Hornets in the semifinal. For Pendleton, the season ends here. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, we are joined now by our Abby's legendary pizza player of the game, Carson Sims. Carson, first off, congratulations. What are your immediate reactions after a quarterfinal win like that?
We're hyped. We're excited. Finally, felt great to beat them 12-0, especially in the semifinals.
So you personally go kind of in the middle of the season, might have hit a slump there, but today a good performance, had a couple of RBIs, a couple of base hits. What was going on, and what have you done to be able to get back into your rhythm up there at the plate?
My coach, Coach Tack, he's been helping me out lately. kind of started going down into a slump, but he brought me back up like he always does.
All right, I got to ask you, the deal with the blonde hair. Whose idea was this, and why did you say yes?
That would be our team captain, Connor Shively. Okay. He thought it'd be a great idea to kill our hair again, but it's working, so we'll take it.
All right, man. Congratulations on making it back to the semifinal. Any message to the fans who've been watching you guys this season?
Thank you guys for all your support, all the fans coming out here to watch and support us today. It was amazing. Thank you.
Carson, I'll get you a gift card in just a moment. Congratulations. You're the player of the game, and go get one on Tuesday, man.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. That's Carson Sims, our Abby's Legendary Pizza player of the game this afternoon here on MyBasin.com. He helped his Hornets to a 12-0 win here in the state quarterfinal. With this win, Henley improves on the season to a record of 25-3. The Pendleton Buckaroos, their season ends with a record of 20-9. The Hornets back in action on Tuesday next week against the Tillamook Cheesemakers in the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union semifinals, and we'll be with you then. Thanks again to the Henley Booster Club. In the meantime, though, this about does it for us today. I want to thank everybody involved with making today's broadcast possible. The head coach of the Pendleton Buckaroos, Justin Spear, as well as the head coach of the Henley Hornets, Sean Teeters. Also want to give a shout out to Luke Hammond, our athletic director, who couldn't be here today. He's up at the state track meet. By the way, I did see that the Henley boys 4x400 team won a state championship earlier today. Let's see, do we get any other state titles? Pole vault, Jesse Smith with a state championship for the Hornets. I know that's where Coach Hammond is up there. Our on-site director today here was our principal, Jesse Hamilton. Big thanks to him as well. And thanks to you for joining us for another edition of Henley High School Baseball. Whether it was today or all season long, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us for another great day of afternoon baseball in the Klamath Basin. We'll be back with you on Tuesday for the state semifinals. But until then, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon and a good weekend. So long from Rosser Field at Henley High School.